Okay, so you've written this really great kernel, and it is scrumptious. It may be a melody only, or it may be a melody with words, or maybe just a concept, but it's an idea that you just have to pursue. It's a hit. Okay, so now what? Well, whatever follows, whatever comes next, has to be just as great, right? So, what do we write now? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now.
Hello and welcome to A Stone's Throw. This is the King Media Network. I'm Al Stone, and I've asked famous singer-songwriter Diego Marr to give away his deepest, darkest secrets on how to write a hit song. Here's a list of the videos you can watch absolutely free. And each video's name is a commandment. This video today is Show 2, Never Attempt to Write a Song Unless You Are in the Zone. So here we go. Okay, Diego, I've written this really great beginning of a song, so now what do I do?
Okay, I like this. You just act like you don't know anything and forget about the fact that you have written hundreds of jingles and many, many songs, and the fact that you literally wrote the book on how to write, produce, and sell commercial music. Okay, so I understand. Well, I'll just humor you.
Okay, all right.
I think the best way to explain this is to give a blow-by-blow account of the writing session itself.
Is this boxing?
So, allow me to state in the most succinct way as I possibly can how you continue to write the next part. So you perform the part you already have. You keep going back and performing this until the next line just comes to you automatically. Okay, that's how you do this. And this is the process for writing the rest of the song as well. So this is what this tutorial today is trying to accomplish. If you can't just get the next part to come naturally, if you're stuck, this approach is really the answer. Ask me a question.
What?
Ask me a question.
Actually, I do have a question. When you're stuck and the next part just won't come, is that a bad thing?
It turns out that it is these stuck periods that sometimes render the hit quality to the song. Now, how is that possible? Well, remember that the title to this tutorial is not How to Write a Song. It is how to write a hit song. So, no, it's not a bad thing. We purposely put ourselves in this situation because this is how we come up with superhuman results. Get this. High-level songwriters are not problem solvers. They are problem makers. They are troublemakers. Trouble because you write yourself into a corner, right? Like you don't know where the song goes next, or you don't know what the next chord is. So I'm saying that the resolution of the problem is only sought from the air.
Ooh.
So you perform the song while under inspiration. That's the key. If you are not in the zone, don't even try. Now, when I say perform, I mean that you perform, in your mind, and you imagine that you're on stage in front of, say, maybe 1,000 people, okay, and you could just be sitting on the edge of your bed in your underwear, but you feel all the excitement and pressure of a real live performance. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. See, okay, I'm performing. Okay. So, all moments of creation are done at this heightened level of inspiration. There. I just gave you the key to the castle. All moments of creation are done at a heightened level of inspiration.
This makes me think of an interview I saw with Paul McCartney. The one where everything's in white. It's in the show notes down below, folks. So, do you want to talk about it?
Yes. And now in that interview, there are some phrases that stand out. So when you're watching, you can listen for them. Okay, here's one. There is no formula. He says that. Write what you feel. It came from a real feeling. Now, at the beginning of the interview, Paul says he wrote around 300 songs with John. Let's reason this out. Not all 300 songs were hits, right? So what distinguishes the hits from the non-hits? Well, three things. It starts, well, just really two things. It starts with a good idea, the kernel. Purposeful writing. A writing frenzy, if you will. Being voraciously inspired or deep in the zone. Can I say, does that make sense, voraciously inspired?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, it's also true that not all of the songs the Beatles made popular were really hits. It could be that the reason why that they were played on the radio was because they were the Beatles. So what are we doing here? Say we are not writing a song because we need to complete an album. We are writing a hit song. Oh, you can write a song without this prerequisite, but it won't be a hit. Hey, where you from? Great town. I'm pretending I'm performing. Okay, never mind. So anyway, what you will write may be okay, but what you come up with will probably be safe. Okay, also you will have the tendency to keep writing the same song over and over again. Ask me a question.
Well, I don't have a question, but I'd like to comment on what you just said. Maybe we should explain what we mean by safe. We mean we write so we don't offend anyone.
Right.
And that's important to they understand this. Also, I say it this way, we don't need any more good songs. We need great songs.
Exactamundo. Okay, so how do you avoid this pitfall? What I'm trying to say is that you have to get in the zone.
The zone?
The zone.
The zone.
The zone. Yes, and you are in a creative and innovative mood. You feel good. You are eating your comfort foods.
Oh, can I have some popcorn?
Yes, and I recommend coffee. Lots of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go on our website,
You mean Diego Mar 809.
and if you listen to any of those songs on there, it was all done with coffee. Lots of coffee.
That could explain a lot.
Okay. Okay, this is the next segment. Okay, so Al, can you say this in your announcer voice? It's about is it a creative?
Is it a creative blast or just gas?
Thank you. Oh, here we go. To write this next part, it's not exactly the same as writing the kernel. In the case of the kernel, you have no control over it. You have to capture it when it happens to you. In the case of the part that follows the kernel, you plan it.
Oh, okay. So what do you do? So what you're saying is that you schedule a time to work on the next part of the song?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Because this is very different from writing, let's say, a jingle. And I just want to explain the difference. With a hit song, the song sort of writes itself. The song decides the rhythm, the tempo, the genre, the pronouns, and so forth. In the case of the jingle, the account executive at the ad agency gives you all of that. He or she gives you an order.
Exactamundo, Al Stone. Okay, so what do you do in the case of writing an original song? Well, you have to plan on working on the song when nobody bothers you. For example, if you have a wife, get rid of her. You're not going to be able to respond to any questioning regarding taking out the trash or fixing the toilet or anything that a loving, caring, responsible husband would do, right?
Yeah, sure.
You need to get in the zone.
The zone?
The zone.
Oh, the zone.
The zone.
Yeah.
Now, this is a very important point. So let's make this a commandment. This would be the second commandment. So I'll just say this in your announcer voice.
Okay.
Say
what?
the second commandment: never attempt to write a song unless you're that.
Yeah.
And make it sound like deep and menacing, right? Make it sound, thunderous.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Never attempt to write a song unless you are in the zone.
That was pretty
How was
good.
that?
Also, you must eat your comfort foods. If it's a cheeseburger, then get yourself a cheeseburger. If it's popcorn popped in bacon grease, then grease up for that. Grease up or carb up or sugar up or whatever your thing is.
Okay, fine.
Okay, it's interesting that during these performances, you work on the thing. You may be working on this for what you think is 10 minutes, but really it was an hour. I mean, after all, you're in the zone.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the zone.
The zone, the
Yeah.
zone. We get it.
I was enamored with John Mayer's story about what he went through when he wrote, "I Still Feel Like Your Man." He said, "I was in a trance for 3 days." This description of that is really really better than maybe what we're explaining here. It was a writing frenzy. That's what he was explaining. And the link is in the show notes at the bottom of the screen here. So this is the same reference that was in show 1, by the way. Okay, the Bobby Bones show, the interview of John Mayer.
Okay, let me reiterate. So what you've already written is the setup for the part that follows, right? It is the kernel that continues itself. It's the kernel that dictates the next part. How am I doing?
Great.
This is the reason why we came, right? This is the moment that this part of the song is transferred from the heavens to your brain. How am I doing? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And right you are, Al Stone. This is the big moment. This is why we have gagged the wife. This is why we ate the cheeseburger and have planned so diligently. This is why we have made sure we feel so good. Oh, and way too much coffee.
What if it doesn't work?
What if what doesn't work?
What if you make this naked performance and you botch it miserably? What if you come up with this? What you come up with is boring or safe or just bad. Yeah, boring.
Okay, good. This is the payoff. You're going to handle this situation with maturity.
No.
If during your underwear performance you don't come up with anything good, you haven't lost anything. It's not like losing the kernel. So what do? Well, you just come back another day and try again. Another performance. Another cheeseburger, way too much coffee, and one fine day.
Oh, the chiffons, one fine day.
One fine day. Yeah, one fine day. One fine day, you're gonna. Okay. You're going to perform this really, really awesome part, okay? It just happens. Okay? Okay, but no, down, or stop. Okay.
I don't see any Diego.
Right, one fine day, okay. Okay, up, back. Okay, that's it. That's good. Anyway, one fine day you're going to perform the most awesome part. It will be exactly what it should be, okay? This writing session is what makes the hit. Now, I have a good example of this. I wrote a song that the verse went to the 4 chord. Okay, when I got up to the chorus, I couldn't go to the 4 chord because that would have been anticlimactic, right? I could not get the chord to go to the bridge. Really frustrated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can go to that page, Retropop. And the name of the song is Must Be Crazy. Now remember to write the next part you have to perform the song from the beginning in your underwear and perform it up to the next part. Okay, you start from the beginning. Okay, in the case of Must Be Crazy, I tried going to the minor third chord, the minor sixth chord, the relative minor. I finally discovered the minor seventh flat 5 chord. Okay, once I heard it, I was elated. I made a big problem, right? But then I solved the problem. Okay, now what I have found is that it is these insurmountable dilemmas, these long periods of frustration that yields the hit. Most recently, most of my songs are written this way. When I am trying to write the next part to be as good as the previous part, that it turns out that this next part is the most appealing part of the song. Who'd have thunk it? So, no, it's not a bad thing to get stuck. Embrace the dilemma. So now we have more of the song written. We have a super duper kernel. It's perfect. We love it. And it goes into the next part just perfectly. Ask me a question.
Wait a minute. What about the rest of the song? What about the bridge? Oh, what about the intro? What about the ending? Yeah, the ending.
Well, when you get stuck, you use this process. You could use this process on all the rest of the song until you finish the song. By the way, it may not always happen this way. Sometimes the song comes to you all in one song. There will be some songs that you will write in 10 minutes, okay? And what we're talking about here is not a formula. It is an approach. So this is a way to tap into the heavens.
So we play the kernel or whatever part we've already written and expect to continue the song with this new idea. It just flows through our fingers to our vocal cords. So I got it.
Yes, and if you learn to write songs this way, you will avoid many writing pitfalls. These 10 commandments, or 8, or I don't know how many there are.
You can't count.
Okay. That accompany the other videos will help you to do just that. So get in the zone.
Yes, and if you've written a song, send it to us. We'd love to hear what you got. Subscribe so we can start a dialogue, or just subscribe and we'll let you know when the next video will be out. This is the King Media Network and you've been watching A Stone's Throw. I'm Al Stone. For the next video, proceed to show 3. You can write any element of the song you want, as long as it is the melody. See you there. Thanks, Diego.
It's been a real pleasure. Pleasure.
Now, Diego says it's been a real pleasure, and then I come in with the ad-lib. Pleasure, but you can't even spell pleasure. You got me doing it now, Diego.